Thank you for joining us for this look at the best original reporting from KPBS News. This week, I'm Maya Trabulsi. Much of our show is dedicated to ComicCon. Coming up, arts reporter Beth Accomando gives us her tips for making the most of it. Is it a wasted investment in public transit? We'll go to City Heights to find out why a vision for a thriving pedestrian mall hasn't materialized. And this weekend also features the start of the Women's World Cup. We check in with some young players in North County who are inspired by Team USA. Well, strikes involving Hollywood actors and writers means that there might be a bit less star power this year, but the Comic-Con crowds are still here in force. Alex Nguyen was there for opening day.
It's the first day of Comic-Con, so you got to dress the part. And it's the first year where major studios aren't here. And Comic-Con attendees say it's getting Comic-Con back to its old roots. So let's check it out.
With no Hollywood stars at Comic-Con, comic artists are the stars at this year's pop culture convention.
I think it's great.
South Bay artist Patrick Ballesteros had a line of people already waiting for him as soon as the convention floor opened.
It's a great time for the undiscovered artists or the new artists or someone's been grinding to get that recognition and to also just find a new crowd, find a new audience because they're able to be showcased among the noise now.
That's how Palm Springs resident Peter Everling discovered Ballesteros.
I only just discovered his artwork this year. I didn't realize the line was going to be this big, so I didn't know he was that popular, but I can see why.
Ballesteros says his art is influenced by pop culture, but with his own twist incorporating his Filipino culture, like this Filipino version of Luke and Leia.
With most of the Hollywood panels canceled, more people are out here on the convention floor.
Exhibitors say they're seeing more people stop by the booths, like 15-year-old Cooper Zabrowski. He was stopping at the Capcom booth to check out the latest video games.
All these booths are so interesting. Like, the Ghost booth looks really cool. This booth is super cool. I'm excited to play that game.
He says things are much more immersive this year.
It's so much more immersive this year. I feel like way more people dressed up this year and, like, kind of got into the spirit of stuff. Like, I saw a red guy with a red hood, the Batman who laughs. Super interesting and super cool.
It's a little bit after 5, and people are starting to head over to the gas lamp area where the parties are about to begin. At the Convention Center, Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
KPBS arts reporter Beth Accomando has been attending Comic-Con for almost 50 years. Well, she offers you this geeky list of top 10 survival tips to make the most of your con experience.
Number 1, badges. You need a badge for Comic-Con, so keep it with you at all times. Remember to always both tap in and out at the convention center, or you may not be able to re-enter. If you have any problems, go to the RFID badge help desk. And badge sharing is not allowed. 2, check out the official website.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Comic-Con puts a lot of work into its website and packs it with information. You can explore the exhibit floor, check out who will be in Artist Alley, and scope out all the programming. And important for this year, there's a list of canceled panels reflecting the impact of the writers' and actors' strikes.
I have spoken.
3, transportation.
Bridge, transporter operational, but this jury rigging won't last for long. He's got to come off now.
Getting back and forth from the con can be a challenge. Parking is expensive and hard to find, so consider using the trolley or the Comic-Con shuttles that are free with your badge. And learn the lay of the land so you don't waste time getting lost. And without a transporter, comfortable shoes are a must. 4, pack a survival kit.
Survival kit contents check.
Water, snacks, caffeine, chocolate, battery chargers, jacket, check. Deodorant, if you want to be considerate of others. Pretend you're heading out on a mission and don't know how long you'll be gone. 5, make a plan.
There's one more thing we need to complete the plan. That guy's eye.
No, you don't actually need that guy's eye. But You will benefit from some kind of plan, whether it's a highly detailed strategy or just a casual idea to hit the exhibit floor. But decide how you want to tackle the con and what's important to you. And figure out the geography. You cannot go from the Bayfront Hilton to Hall A in 5 minutes. Understand that it's not just a question of distance, but what stands between you and your destination. 6, be flexible.
Dr. Adapt and improve.
Heed Monty Python's advice and be ready to pivot. If you get shut out of a panel, don't let that ruin your day. Instead, walk into a random panel and maybe you'll discover something new. Or check out the ComicCon International Independent Film Festival and chill out watching a pop culture-inspired film. 7, lines do not have to be a bad thing.
Louis, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Attendees form lifelong friendships with people they meet in line. So if you're stuck waiting for something, chat with the geeky fan standing next to you, because a beautiful friendship might lie ahead. 8, express yourself.
Cool Spidey outfit. Thanks.
Wear a t-shirt or a costume showing your fandom. Comic-Con is the best place to celebrate what you love and to find others who share your passion. 9, step out of your comfort zone.
Mr. Robo, where are you off to? I'm going on an adventure!
Explore. Seek out something new. If you don't know what an inker or a letterer does, then go to a panel about them. And 10, support an independent artist or publisher.
Hi, I'm Leela Lee. I'm the cartoonist of Angry Little Girls, which is a weekly comic strip.
Hey guys, I'm Lenny Romero. I am an independent artist that travels the country selling art at different shows.
Consider hitting the floor for a day or even an hour and spend some time and money in Artist Alley or Small Press. There are treasures out there waiting to be discovered, and you can feel great knowing you're supporting independent creators. And finally,
rule number 32, enjoy the little things.
That's right. Just remember to have fun, no matter how many zombies might be chasing you. Beth Accomando, KPBS News.
Comic-Con is not only a time to celebrate your favorite heroes, but you can become one too. San Diego Blood Bank's longest-running blood drive returns for its 47th year, and it runs through Sunday at the Manchester Grand Hyatt and Blood Bank donation centers. An appointment is required. Donors will get a T-shirt and a chance to win other prizes. Public transit is essential this weekend as people get to Comic-Con and beyond. In City Heights, one transit stop sits above the 15 freeway that runs through the neighborhood. Metro reporter Andrew Bowen says decades later, a vision to reconnect the community remains unfulfilled.
Houses, families on this side. When I say there was houses over here and a commercial space on the corner.
Alexis Villanueva is walking me down University Avenue as it passes over the State Route 15 freeway. She's the executive director of the nonprofit City Heights Community Development Corporation. When she was growing up here in the 1980s, all this land was taken up by apartment buildings and businesses. But Caltrans wanted to build the freeway, so it used eminent domain to seize and demolish more than 9 blocks of property. Some 2,000 residents were forced to leave, including Villanueva's sister and niece.
When you ask them to relocate, you're essentially asking them to figure out how to make rent deposit in somewhere else that's probably more higher in rent. So immediately my sister was concerned of what that would mean, and then also what that would mean for my niece, that she would have to take and move out of the district as well, and move schools. So it was a big decision, but there really was no choice.
Residents fought to stop the freeway, but in the end, after years of exhausting negotiations, Caltrans agreed to cap just 1 block of the freeway. That block became Terralta Park, the first park Caltrans ever built as a roof over a freeway. Caltrans also made space for a rapid bus line that would run on the freeway median, though it took another 18 years after the freeway opened for that bus line to start service. The bus line came with extra wide bridges over the freeway, each with a little pedestrian plaza.
All the environment, all the built environment that you see was really so people could still activate the space and not feel like there was a western part of City Heights and then an eastern part of City Heights.
But the dream of these plazas becoming gathering spaces that would reconnect the community hasn't been realized. Caltrans built kiosks here to house a small business like a coffee shop or a newsstand. They also built bathrooms here, but in the more than 20 years since they were built, neither the kiosks nor the bathrooms have ever been used. Villanueva says it's a waste. These amenities could improve the experience of riding public transit.
The idea that someone is commuting, and a lot of our families do that with their service jobs, they're using this expressway, this bus, to go downtown and back. When they're making a stop all the way from College Avenue to here, and they need to grab breakfast to head on to their downtown job, that's a need. That's a need, in the house with comfortability, the house for them to get to work on time.
People in City Heights have been fighting for years to activate and beautify these plazas, and they've got plenty of ideas.
Extra greenery. We have, the tree and the potting plants, but that's not enough for this place to look gray and, to be quite honest, dismal the way that it looks. So we want added greenery. We also want lighting. We've been told by our community that lighting is a necessary part of riding the bus.
The community has made some progress toward activating the kiosks over the freeway. The city of San Diego agreed to lease them from Caltrans so it could find its own vendors. But they're still locked up, and the things that make these plazas unpleasant, like the noise and pollution from the freeway, have no cheap or easy fixes.
And when we're talking about a community that has limited resources, that hasn't had investment from, government as much as it could have, as much as it should have, it does take public and private partnerships. And I think that that's where, in our leadership and our organization has said, fine, let's come to the table, let's figure out what we need to do and how much resources are going to take, and we'll go out there and do that.
The experience of City Heights being divided by a freeway is by no means unique. It happened all over San Diego County and the whole country, most often in low-income communities of color, the communities least able to fight back. You can learn more about the past, present, and future of our freeways by listening to my podcast, Freeway Exit. You can find it wherever you listen to podcasts. Andrew Bowen, KPBS News.
And that story was one of our most popular this week at kpbs.org. Here are some others. It's July, but it's already back to school for some kids in the South Bay. KPBS News was there for the first day. More SDG&E customers will get credits after getting expensive winter heating bills. And see our coverage of the upcoming special election for the vacant seat at the San Diego County Board of Supervisors. What a week for soccer in San Diego. The NWSL announced it will hold its championship match at Snapdragon Stadium in November. And right now, the league stars are playing in the Women's World Cup. Melissa May caught up with young soccer fans who dream of doing the same.
Team USA may be playing down under, but they've got plenty of fans in San Diego to cheer them on!
It's just going to be awesome to see them play in against hard teams all over the world.
I love the rush when they score a goal because it's like the stand goes, it goes wild.
I'm excited to see with their new younger additions to the team how they're going to play and how well they've become as a team.
Local soccer club, the Cardiff Sockers, had a special Team USA Day during their summer camp to show support for the U.S. women's national team and the World Cup.
I think that it's actually pretty cool that I get to watch a lot of the greats play. Like, I like watching Sam Kerr and Alex Morgan, and I think that when the different teams play, it's a good experience for me to learn how to play myself.
Fifth grader Brisbane Gates is happy that people respect and support women's soccer.
These girls did something really great, compete on a national level of soccer, and they've won the World Cup 4 times, and that's really cool to me. Surprisingly, the boys haven't won it once.
For young athletes like Hannah Jane Wright, it means a lot to watch women compete in the World Cup.
They're awesome. I'm awesome too. We both had the same moments in life where we were just little kids starting at soccer and then big kids growing up to move on.
Team USA has won 4 of the last 8 Women's World Cups and has never finished off the podium. And if you're wondering who these girls are rooting for,
USA, obvi.
And why?
because they're the best.
USA begins their 2023 World Cup journey at 6 p.m. on Friday against Vietnam. Melissa May, KPBS News.
And there's also a lot of excitement in Del Mar. Friday was opening day for the 2023 summer horse racing season. A sellout crowd packed the racetrack to place their bets and take part in the opening day hat contest. And the season runs through September 10th. July in San Diego is all about huge events, and that includes last week's Pride Parade and Festival. John Carroll talked with organizers about how things went.
All the marching, shouts of support. The monumental, colorful celebration, now just a memory. And Pride Executive Director Fernando Lopez is basking in the afterglow.
It was the smoothest, best running Pride Parade festival rally that I've been through in my 13 years.
They won't have the final numbers in for several more days, but Lopez says it looks like their estimates of 300,000 or more people at the parade and the festival seem about right.
I just couldn't believe how incredible the staff, the volunteers, the contractors were. Everything just sort of went according to plan.
You might also sense a sigh of relief in Lopez's voice. With the rise of anti-LGBTQ+ legislation and violence across the nation, there were concerns. But Lopez says in San Diego, at least, when it comes to threats, things are actually better this year.
There was a dramatic reduction in the number of aggressive emails that we received or communication. So I probably felt the safest I ever did going into this year's event.
In fact, Lopez says all the media attention to the anti-LGBTQ+ news might have actually ended up helping.
I think it really put this lens on it that seemed to diminish things. So I think all of that really just not only helped San Diego Pride be safe and successful, but prides all over the country.
So now the attention of the San Diego Pride Organization, the largest pride organization in the country, by the way, they're now working on next year's event and have been for months.
You have to start planning those things out at least 1.5 to 2 years in advance.
Keeping Pride going strong. It's about more than just the local LGBTQ+ community. It's also about the pride San Diegans can take in a parade that's the largest single-day event in the county, coming off without a hitch. John Carroll.
Happy Pride!
KPBS News.
Among the cast of characters at ComicCon this week, you will find some mad scientists. And while they are very much alive in science fiction fantasy, the true data tells a different story. KPBS education reporter MG Perez brings us this reality check from the laboratory.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Dr. Frankenstein was a little high-strung, almost inconsolable, when he created his monster. Mad scientists are known for their electric personalities and penchant for pursuing procedures and protocols that are purely problematic.
I'm ready to try my experiment on a human.
$1 million. $100 billion.
No, she's not really Dr. Evil. She is a rocket scientist whose laboratory is often a classroom with students.
Can all this stuff that happens in sci-fi movies, can it actually happen in real life? And the answer is a lot of it has already happened in real life.
Jasmine Sadler is also a former military defense engineer, an entrepreneur, and advocate for teaching science. This summer camp at Lincoln High School is sponsored by the Blue Heart Foundation, which supports young students of color in becoming scientists in an informal education space.
Through summer camps, Saturday programs, after-school programs, because that is what gives them the real-world perspective to the concepts that they're learning in school.
Sadler is a ComicCon panelist who is busting myths this week about scientists who are neither mad or villainous, although teaching her students artificial intelligence is a challenge.
But as we stand on the precipice of new challenges, the return of Victor looms over us.
You don't have limits, you don't have laws, but you have everything you need at your fingertips. Do you use it for good or for evil? Because it's not the technology that's good or evil, it's the person.
Jay Gardner is myth-busting at Comic-Con too. She is a real scientist from Philadelphia doing real research to cure pancreatic cancer. She knows the stereotype she's fighting.
It's usually evil or mad, or very Einsteinian with the white hair that's very crazy.
Gardner is none of that. But she does have credentials in creating comics, something she's done since she was in graduate school, her own way of teaching science in an unscientific way.
Wanting to show science in a much more fun and interesting light than what our textbooks provide, or how sometimes science lectures are given, like the rote memorization, that's far less interesting than what science really is.
Coding, I like to think of it as almost like a recipe that we write that a computer can follow.
Gracie Ermey is a computer scientist from Seattle. She is in San Diego for the Dr. Evil myth-busting Comic-Con panel 2.
That's my impression.
What she lacks in a mad scientist impersonation, she makes up for in her work. Ermey leads a team of engineers that processes millions of satellite images using AI to produce real maps of the Earth that can help world environmental leaders make decisions to combat climate change.
Scientists are regular people who are working on cool things and have, these specific skill sets that we've developed over time, but anyone can become a scientist, and we're not villains. We're trying to make the world a better place.
And maybe have a little fun at the same time.
Give me the pinky. You got to give me the pinky.
It's alive! In the name of God!
MG Perez, KPBS News.
Star Wars always has a big presence at Comic-Con. San Diego Droid Builders is offering attendees an opportunity to learn how to build and maintain their own R2 units. KPBS video journalist Carlos Castillo takes us into the Builders workshops.
This is my madman's workshop. I like junk, and so I'm kind of a Jawa. I've always liked taking stuff apart and figuring out how it works. I was always interested in Star Wars, but then a friend of mine introduced me back into discovering droids, and it really took off from there, and I got re-immersed into the Star Wars universe. I didn't know I always wanted an R2-D2, but I built one. So the first one took me about 3 years. A lot of that was parts gathering. And as you would get parts, you would kind of work on them because you knew what was going to look like, and then you knew you needed to attach things. And there are forums, there are build logs, there are blueprints, schematics, just about anything you can think of. Been fortunate to have access to the archive, so people went in there, they've taken measurements, so we know that everything is fairly accurate. Price range, $100 to $20,000, $30,000. I mean, there's not an upper limit. There's a lot of money, but you're not spending that all at once. You're buying, $40 here, maybe $100 there, and you're gathering the parts and doing things. This is my R2. It's been through a lot of iterations. This one has the ability to open up all the pie panels. We have a little motor here to help spin the domes, give it nice rotation. Anyone can build a droid. This year at Comic-Con, we're having a how do I get started in building droids? So we'll be talking about that very thing. When you're doing this, you make all kinds of friends and all kinds of connections from all around the world. And it's just, it's awesome.
We've been wanting one of these things forever. You go to Comic-Cons, you go to, Star Wars celebrations. people are actually making these things and they're real. So I got with my brother-in-law Corey and I said, hey, if I start buying some stuff, could we collectively really make this happen? And he said, oh, we could make this happen. We're gonna do it. And then it just snowballed.
This is what you start with, and then you can see the little tabs here. You cut off, clean them up, you know, get all your pieces together. They get painted blue.
Typically, I think it takes maybe 5 to 10 years is somewhat of the average of when people will start building the droid for the actual completion. We did ours in 6 months. I think that's unheard of. It's going to be his first ComicCon, actually. He went to WonderCon. Right, yeah, and yeah, this is going to be his first San Diego ComicCon. You join a club like 500 First or R2 Builders, and they're looking for, like Make-A-Wish kids are looking for, they want to have a droid or a stormtrooper. They want to, you know, have characters present, and that really makes everything tied together, where it just makes everything so worth it.
People just light up. People, grown adults turn into kids.
And the fun continues this weekend in the Gas Lamp, and KPBS will be there for plenty of coverage. Follow us on social media and at kpbs.org for more content. And of course, all of our stories can be found on the KPBS YouTube page. We hope that you enjoyed this look at KPBS News this week. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Thanks for joining us.